Yeah, I was going for a little minute. I think I'm officially going with this cold, right? For like a week. I had like a little cough, a little stuffy nose, but it's pretty much done now. So what's going on with you guys? I finished my morning routine. I did my walk. I did my exercise. I fed a couple of people today. That's important to me. I did it yesterday, and the whole thing with the stamps, right? The public assistance. We know the government is shut down, but we can come together and we can help one another. Just a dish. Maybe food in your refrigerator that you're not using that hasn't been picked through. Certain people can use it. They can do something with it, right? Seen a lady, right? You might have seen this before. I don't know what she was doing. She was like picking the grass from this yard, right? So I don't know what they do. They boil it or something. Maybe someone can leave it in the comment section. But yeah, this is a time where we come together and we help one another. So right over here by University Avenue in the Bronx, sometimes I volunteer for this church. It's a lady. She has like this church in her yard with these people come. It's like a small little community. So I help out a lot of times, free of charge. You don't even have to give me anything. So sometimes I take bags of food and I give it out to people who I know can use it. So that's just one step. I tell people the person that you pass every day on your way to work, just a bottle of water, just think like that, a bottle of water, maybe some leftovers that you're not going to use, that you're going to toss out anyway. Someone else can use it. It can sustain them, right? Because a lot of times we think about giving them money, and some of them, they take the money and then they harm themselves. They buy drugs with it. And I remember a lady on the Instagram group, she was saying that it was this homeless guy that was next to the Long Island Railroad. When she used to go to work every day, she used to pass him. So, she was giving him food and stuff like that. And then for some funny reason, she just felt, hey, I should start giving him money, help him out more, right? Some people do things for different reasons. Maybe she thought the money can help him out more, but come to find out, he had an overdose, right? And she said to this day, she won't allow herself to get over it because she felt like if she didn't give him the money, maybe he would still be alive, right? He left 3 kids behind. It was crazy. So me myself, I used to always give out money, give out dollar bills, and I still do, but I just have better decision making now. I give it to people who I know that really need it. You know what I mean? You go to the city nowadays, any given block, man, you can see people out there with their family, 2 and 3 children. That's crazy. So, I think those type of people, some of them are running games, some of them are running schemes, right? It's no shame in their game. They have no pride. They don't care. But then you can look at some and you can really say, hey, they're out here because times are really rough, times are that hard. And then you have some like in my neighborhood, I said before, I used to when I go out to work out early in the morning, I switch times now because the weather's changed. So I switch times. I might go out like an hour later or something, or an hour earlier. You know what I mean? I get up and I just move on it. But it was this lady, I don't know her nationality, but I would see her like every day, every other day, her and like a little girl. Even on school days, I would see them, and she would just like point to her mouth and then like point to this paper, basically saying, this is for other kids in the other country. And the little girl would talk to me like in English a little bit, but the mother would just like point at her mouth and like put her hand out. So I kind of automatically knew what that meant. And a lot of times I didn't even have my card on me. I didn't, carry the card anymore. It got this tap thing with the tap the phone. So I didn't have anything on me to give her anyway. I probably would have wanted to, but I think she was out there gaming. She probably was in a nearby shelter or probably in one of those houses up the block, but they get their hustle on, right? So, but this is definitely the time. So, about 2 weeks ago, I went to the shelters and I visited the soup kitchens and just, talking to the brothers and the sisters and getting a little idea of what they think. And some of them I was able to give them some connections, some hookups. and just the conversation, just the word, means a lot. It can pick someone up. You know what I mean? And the crazy thing about it is you never know who you're gonna meet when you go to these places, because it's one right there on 16th Street, right? And I don't know if that's 7th Ave. I can't really remember. As soon as you get off the F train on 16th Street, yeah, 16th Street on the F train, or the 14th Street on the F train. I'm sorry. And yeah, so I used to volunteer right over there too, right? Going there, speaking to the brothers. I still know some of the workers that work there. And, lo and behold, right, it's these people in condos and duplexes right next door, rich, and they're in there eating. Rich people in there eating. And it was like an argument, right? Should rich people be able to eat at soup kitchens, right? Now you have some that help out the soup kitchens. They donate to the soup kitchens. They volunteer. So I say yes. And then you got some that, they don't need it at all. I definitely understand, but food is essential. We need food to survive. Just like we need love to survive, food is love, right? Especially when people put their love in it and they really, really want to help you. And we had some beautiful cooks in there, and people often wait till they're pushed to do something to make that first move. Sometimes, I mean, you don't even have to be hungry. I'm not hungry. I go there and I just talk to the brothers and talk to the sisters. And sometimes, the people that's living in it can give you the best testimony, right? So a lot of times I'm like, oh wow, it's like this, it's like that. But if you got your mind right and you have a plan, an overall plan, and you have a daily routine, then you're able to kind of survive uh, a little bit more. I went in Bellevue, man. I went in Bellevue. I went into the men's shelter. I was talking to the brothers. That's right there in the lunchroom, and you just see the smile on their face, because a lot of times these people think that they're forgotten. They think people forgot about them. They think people don't love them or anything like that. So when they're getting this love and stuff from a stranger, it kind of hits different, right? Your family members and everyone is kind of like just moving along, going about their business, and then a stranger comes and blesses you, right? And sometimes the blessing is unexpected. It's not with money. It's just, sometimes it's just the word. The word can motivate you. I always tell the story. I was kicking it with one brother on 125th Street, and he mentioned something about my stomach, man. I don't know. It just resonated. Something just resonated with me. Went up the block, right? Going home. I was saying to myself, you know what? I'm going to go to Brooklyn tomorrow. Probably go to Nicholas Brooklyn. Shout out to Nicholas Brooklyn bookstore, right? Right there on Nostrand Avenue. And I was like, I'm going to go there. I haven't been there in a while. Go there, pick up some herbs or whatever. I'll go to flowerpower.net downtown in the village. Flowerpower.net. Salute to them. And boom, bumped right into the sister with the herbs. It was a Saturday or Sunday, can't remember. Bumped right into the sister with the herbs, got the herbs from her, and started the process. Started working on myself. And some people don't want to work on themselves, right? Because now you have to face your quote unquote flaws, or face the shadow side of you that you're not too proud of, right? But why are you not proud to work on yourself, right? We're willing to work on everyone else and make everyone else great. But when it comes to ourselves, we totally neglect that part of ourselves because we don't want to face it. It's easier to help other people. I know a sister, right? She had 3 children. I think she had maybe like a 2-bedroom, I can't remember. But this sister would have everyone living in her apartment. I mean, everyone from the neighborhood, people she barely knew. And from the outside, it looked like she was a great person, that she was doing something really helpful. But she was like poking holes in herself, and it's like a container that's just leaking the substance out, right? So you see these type of people slowly deteriorate, right? And the reason why you see a person slowly deteriorate is because is no love, right? You see a pet, right? You see, I was watching this show, they had it before and after. You seen the before, the pet looked like he was dying, man. The cat looked like he was dying. A couple of weeks of love and care, you really couldn't tell. Just like with a flower, right? I often make reference to the book, Treat Your Relationships Like Flowers, right? Now, for the people who started doing that, I know you've seen the results. You're like, wow, is this really improved the way that I see the world, the way I treat the world, the way I treat myself and treat others? Treat your relationships like a flower, no pressure. You want to see the person you care for and love, you just want to see them shine. You want to see them do great. It's no ball and chain relationship. You don't owe me anything. You know, I helped you. I poured into you. You don't even really have to mention it. It's not for that. You know, people want to be praised and, hey, I'm the first to do. Listen, sometimes it's best just to be quiet. Let a person live. Let them live. You don't owe me anything. I don't want that on your mental. Oh man, he helped me out. He did this, and now you owe me. No, you show gratitude, and then you move on with your life, and you help the next person. The way you would be helping me is by helping the next person. If I ever helped you out or did anything in your life, that's what it's for. It's for you. You was the chosen one. The universe chose you to get the knowledge, to get the information, whatever. You don't owe anybody else anything. It's just coming through me. It's just coming through the other person. If you decide to donate to the person or whatever, and that's another thing. We was talking about donations the other day, right? And they were saying, do you think people should get paid for this information? It's free and things of that nature. Now, it's like kind of like two-sided for me, right? Now, if this is your profession, right, and this is your bread and butter, and you're qualified to do this, and you do a great job, and of course, I see no problem with a person getting paid for it or getting donations. But like, if this is not really your thing, and you're just out there jiving the people, kind of scamming the people, then of course not. I don't think a person should get paid for that. You know what I mean? But if you're serious about this, and this is your profession, your bread and butter, then yes, donation. It's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? But like I said, if you're out there scamming the people, you're gaming grandma for her fixed income, and you feel no remorse, then you shouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean? But what I wanted to speak about, what I wanted to say, I had something. Someone just texted me something right now. Let me see. Now you got certain sectors, right? And it's just like in life. You got certain sectors, certain neighborhoods, certain blocks, right? And then a lot of times we might find ourselves in a sector or in a neighborhood, in a block that we don't belong in, right? Now, instead of trying to fight your way out of the sector or fight yourself out of relationships and things, first we should try to figure out how did we find ourselves in these situations. That's the thing about it, right? People just want to get out of the situation and point the finger, and I'm not like them, and these people are this. But how did you find yourself in those circles around those type of people? If you're so better than them, how did you find yourself around those type of people if you're so better than them, right? If you're on a scale up here, how did you find yourself around them? Right. So a lot of times we want to form relationships, friendships, for the wrong reason. For the wrong reason. A lot of times people have motives, and people want their motives and their desires to be fulfilled. They're not going to tell you that. Some of them don't even know that. So they can't be honest with themselves. So they get mad at you. Right. They try to copy you. But if something doesn't work for them, then they're going to get mad at you. Right. And then you want to fight and you want to react instead of just removing yourself from the situation. I see a lot of people fall victim to this, right? What are you doing on social media? Arguing with someone else, right? Frivolous conversations. And this is how it usually starts. It starts from the forced friendships, frivolous conversations, and then it turns into disrespect, right? Because the person doesn't respect you because you stoop to their level, and now you're involved in these frivolous conversations. You find yourself trapped in conversations trying to prove yourself to who and to what. You don't know these people. The narrative is forced. Why are you trying to argue a forced narrative and to prove to strangers? And now you burn yourself out and you're caught up. Your anxiety flares up. Now you're coming on social media, or if you hear a notification, right? It can be someone else's notification, but that just signals you, or because we're all programmed to a certain extent. And now you go on your phone or you log in, and now you look at, you see no one's hit you up. It's been 5 hours, not one notification, and now you feel some type of way. So now you think to yourself, is this a habit, or is this something deeper going on with me? Right? Because you didn't feel like this before, but now some people post a picture, they get no responses, 5 hours, no response, no like, no nothing, and now they feel some type of way. Right? And this is seeking validation. When you have people seeking validation, grown people seeking validation, we can understand children seeking validation. We can understand that, right? They say about around the 12 years old, the brain starts seeking validation and compliments and things like that. So if you have a little girl or something, get ready, right? She's going to be seeking the validation from the little boy. So she's going to want to wear this to school and that to school. You know what I mean? But when you get up in age and you're constantly seeking validation, and like I said before, it's nothing wrong with compliments, right? With social beings. Um, it's like we need love, but we have to be able to have emotional intelligence, and to pick the right person to love us, right? The right avenues to find love. You got some people that just want it. That's it. Just worried about themselves. But what about the people around you? You don't think the people around you want to be loved too? This love is just not for you, but sometimes we get drunk on the love. We get drunk on the compliments. We get drunk on the validation, and that then we find ourselves in the loop of doing things to seek the validation. So you see the culture out here where the people are doing the silly pranks for the likes, the clicks, and the views, and then you see the people start to confide in their quote unquote social friends, or what they believe is their social group or their social support group. And it just becomes crazy. So I heard someone the other day talking about the what's this, the algorithm. They're talking about the algorithm and how many of us have fallen victim to the algorithm, when really you are the algorithm. The algorithm's supposed to follow after you, but a lot of people have found themselves following after the algorithm, steady trying to prove themselves until they get that viral moment with 100,000 views, and now they feel like they finally made it in life. They didn't pay attention to their girl telling them how wonderful they was, how great of a man they was, their mother telling them. They didn't pay attention to that. But when a bunch of strangers or a bunch of bots or the internet, the algorithm, because I think the algorithm gives away likes and stuff like that, is to keep you going. Keep you going. So they're going to throw you some likes and some views and some shares. We know it's all rigged up and things of that. And a little bit later, we're going to get into the business aspect of this when I come back, right? Because once you start to learn social media, you start to learn that it's only like a couple of people on social media: the business figure, the entertainer, and the person that just scrolls. You got people who just scroll. They come on for about maybe half an hour a day and just scroll and then disappear. Short talk, disappear. They don't get caught up in the arguments and the ratchetness. Then you have the businessman that's there, that's creating ads, that's investing in itself, that's spending a little money, but we will call it something else. And then you got the entertainer, the person who complains about getting no likes. Hey, nobody's liking my pictures, but you're entertaining. You're not demanding being taken serious. You're entertaining, right? So people are gonna laugh at you and they're not gonna take you serious. So we're gonna talk about this a little bit later when I get back. About to run to the market. But remember, there's only a few type of people on social media. The whole world is not on social media. They want you to believe that. This is why I like to do a lot of my outside promotion. And yes, I've been on social media less because I'm doing more in the outside world. And you want to really live your life until it's up, man. You know, when people are living their I mean, you want to live your life before it's up and done, but you have people that's living the majority of their life on social media. They're not even leaving their couch. They're not even leaving their bed. They're not even leaving their house or their basement. That's, you know, that's not, it's not fun after a while. But just remember what I said. I'll be back. It's only a few people on social media, you know, and three of them is like the surfer, the person who just browses the browser, the business figure, and the entertainer. Which one are you? You know, peace and love.